Hi, Katie of Katie's Crafty Creations and Katie's Florida Experience. This is kind of a intro to the quilt block that I'm going to be working on with you. I didn't decide to make the quilt block as a video until after I had already cut the pieces, so you're going to kind of see me piecing the little pieces together up into the point where it turns into somewhat of a block in the middle stages. And I'm playing with my camera right now. This is being recorded on my laptop because I didn't realize I forgot to record an intro, so that's where that's coming from. And I will also put my PO box in there if anyone wants to gift a novice quilter who is a bitch any kind of quilting things, because my sewing machine doesn't come with a 1/4 inch quilting foot or 1/4 inch presser foot, so, or a walking foot or anything like that. And I have a Brother 3817G, I think is what it's called. I'm not sure. Anyway, that being said, I will put those in the description if anybody wants to gift me anything, fabrics, notions, and yarn, anything like that. Feel free. As I said, I'm a bitch. I ain't gonna turn down some free stuff. Anyway, that being said, I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get to quilting. Alright, so now we're gonna take our fun little streamer, and we're gonna nip them in half. So you're just gonna take them. There's gonna be this little piece of thread in between. You're just gonna nip them, toss them on the table. Nip it, toss it. And you're going to do this all the way across your little streamer. Like I said, I am not perfect by any means. I haven't sewn in over a year and a half. Was homeless living in my car for that year and a half. Lost my sewing machine, all my quilting stuff, and I'm slowly getting it back. Got into an apartment. Social Security screwing my daughter over out of her SSI, which was one of the ways we were able to get approved for the apartment. So now I gotta go fight with them, and I'm stressing out about how I'm gonna cover November's rent, because I don't make enough at my job to cover it. So I'm probably gonna set up a GoFundMe, which I know probably nobody's ever gonna donate to, because let's face it, I've never had anything good happen to me in my entire life besides my kids. I've had people will say, "Oh, we'll help you," and yeah. Or my all-time favorite, there was a lady that came through. I'm not going to say her name in case she's watching this video, but she knows who she is. Came in, was like, "Oh, this is when I was living in my car with my daughter in my work parking lot." She said, "Oh, God, put you on my heart. I'm going to do everything I can to help you get into an apartment." She was supposed to help me. She said she was going to help me with rent, to start off with and everything, to try to get me on my feet. I get the apartment on my own with no help from her. Haven't seen her in 3-4 months. Now that I could use her help with my rent, she's nowhere to be found. So even so-called religious people who supposedly God put me on their heart, I don't even trust them. I have a hard time trusting people, and that, ladies and gents, is the reason. So back to nip, toss. Nip, toss. Nip, toss. Nip, and toss. And I'm just going to do this all the way across. And like I said, my seams may not be a perfect straight, especially 1/4 inch seam. They're a little wonky, a little lopsided. But I was watching Jenny Doan on Missouri Star Quilt Company. She's one of the go-tos besides Angela Walters from the Midnight Quilt Show that I watch. Anyway, one thing that an adage I like to go by, since I'm still kind of a novice and a beginner, is something that Jenny Doan said, which is, a finished quilt is better than a perfect quilt. Basically, just start, just do it. If it doesn't look perfect, it doesn't matter. You finished it. It's a finished, completed project that you can be proud of. You did it. So I try to keep that in mind, whether my stitches, oops, excuse me, one fell on the floor. Sorry about that, one of them on the floor. But whether it's perfect or not, as long as I feel accomplished at the end of the day that I did it and I have a finished quilt block out of it, that's all that matters to me, is that I did it. I can feel accomplished, I can feel proud of myself, whether anybody else is proud of me or not. I'm proud of me. And I'm starting to learn that I need to start being proud of me. I need to start taking better care of me, because I don't. I'm a workaholic. And sometimes I feel like my boss takes advantage of that. I get called in when somebody calls out. I get called in, and I come in, and I do what I do, which is everything, to the best of my ability. But sometimes I feel like a glorified babysitter with some of the younger kids, because they don't want to listen. They just want to be on their phone, stand in the corner, just, being teenagers, basically. They want a job, they want to get paid, but they really don't want to do the work, and then I have to go behind them, and I have to do everything, and it's not a great work environment sometimes. I love my job, I love the job I do, which is I'm a shift manager at Arby's, but you can only do things like that so much before you get burned out. And since the one shift manager we had, who was the closing shift manager, quit, I have become strictly all closes, and I don't have any day shifts, and I'm more of a day person. So that being said, we are done cutting these, so I am going to pause you for a second, if I can figure it out. Hold on. Let me pause you, and I will bring you right back and show you the tool that came with my Dresden plate, and my Dresden plate ruler that I got at Joann Fabrics. And I will show you, because mine came, I'll tell you the name of the ruler, but mine came with the tool. So give me one moment, let me go grab my tool, and we will be right back. Alright, so this is my Dresden plate ruler, and it is Easy Quilting from Simplicity.com, the Darlene Zimmerman 8-inch Dresden plate ruler. And that ruler I got, as I said, I got from Joann's, but it came with the little turnout tool, which I think is pretty neat. I didn't have to go buy another one, I didn't have to find a pencil, I didn't have to use my scissors, risk cutting through my stitches, or any of that. So this is the tool we are going to use. But first, we need to take these, and we're going to flip them. We're going to just put your thumb in that little groove, make it look like a little top hat on your finger. You're going to go down on the corner and just flip it. And do that to all of them. I do this in stages like that. I don't go flip, poke, flip, poke. It's time consuming if you do that, and it's honestly a pain in the butt. And if I look this way, I'm just trying to, if you notice my eyes turning, it's because I'm looking at the monitor to make sure I'm still in frame. So, you get these. You're going to turn them all out. Again, thumb inside, finger on top, flip. You're going to do this with all of them. I'm not going to bore you by making you watch me do all of these, so I'm going to pause you, and I will come back once I've got these all flipped, and then we will poke out the centers. Okay, I got all my little pointy things done, so now I'm going to take said pointy tool, point turner outer tool, and I do it a little weird, but what I do is I will turn it toward where it's facing me, but where I have the back kind of pressed against it, and then I just kind of poke it out. But you do you, boo, as they say, and you just want to poke a little point in there. So I'm going to do that to all of these, and we will be back. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your little top hat looking things. You're going to take them to your ironing board, and what I tend to do is I'll take my fingers and kind of do this and get it open. You're going to take your seam and try to get it, it's kind of blurry, but you want to try to get your seam, if I can get it, like in the center and press it, but I haven't figured out how to get a good angle on my ironing board to take you to through that step, so I'm going to go ahead and do it, and then I'll show you what we have at the end. Alright, bear with me. I'm going to go do that. Alright, so all the pressing is done, and once you pressed them, you will notice or maybe you won't, but I did. You end up with something that starts out looking like a top hat with a little thing in the back. But then once you press them and you look at them a little closer, you end up with something that looks like this. And I'm sorry, but to me, this looks like a tombstone since it is almost Halloween. This reminds me of a tombstone. I had an idea to create, maybe not right now, but taking some Dresdens and creating like a Halloween themed quilt top with blocks, that using some Dresdens smaller Dresdens like these to create like a fence, and taller Dresdens that could be like spaced out that would be like the tombstones, and using like a fabric marker that won't wash off or anything like that. That's like, you can use it for like drawing on there, because I don't hand embroider very well, and I don't have one of those machines that does embroidery stitches. So, but I would get a fabric marker and write "Rest in Peace" or something on them, and make like a little Halloween themed quilt using little Dresdens as the tombstones. That was just an idea I had, but I'm going to continue. I have 2 more piles of these I have to do. So that's it for now. I will come back later on, and I will, when I'm getting ready to piece the little plate together, and I will show you my process on that. Alright, so I'm back. I've gotten all 4 sets of my little pointy tombstone looking things done. And so, I'm having an issue trying to get this thing right, so it doesn't always look like I'm like staring away from the camera. Sorry, my nose itch. Nose itch. Anyway, so I'm going to play around, see if I can't angle my camera so you can see what I'm doing. But basically, I've got a block I will be showing you in just a second, that I'll have it set on my table. But basically, my Dresdens are 2.5 inches, and with the dark one, I practiced this before I made this video. I discovered, let's see if I can remember how many there was. There was 21 Dresdens to make my particular plate that would fit on my background block. So I'm gonna pause you and get you angled correctly, and we will go from there. Okay, so this is one of the 6 dark Dresden Plate Quilt squares that I made. And as I said, each one of these, there's 21 of these little 2.5 inch strips that we made that are going in there. I created a template, and I will show you it. I just took a big piece of cardboard, an old beer box, if you must know, and I used the top of this little soup bowl, and created a template and cut it and traced it out and created my center on it. It was a perfect size to fit my center. So let me get this out of the way. Put it back over here where I had the other ones. And now I'm going to show you the method to my madness, because I don't want them all the same. So I'm going to bring these over here. So what I do is I kind of just set them out. If I can figure out where to put my hand where you're going to see me. Give me a second to figure this out. Where do I have to be? I'm going to adjust it again. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my pink, and then I'm going to grab one of the stripies and into green. And my sewing machine's right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with these three. So it's going to go like this. So there's 3, 4, and then I try to mix and match them. So there's 4. We'll start with the stripe next. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, my rows are getting a little wonky, 15, 16, 17, it has too many greens in it, we'll go for a different color one, 17, 18, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So there's my 21, and I want to start with this pink up at the top. So I'm going to reverse how I have them laying on this thing. I'm going to make a little stack. So the top one is going to be where I start. And again, do the reverse of it and just create another little pile. Like that. And I'm just going to pick that up and do this. And what I do is I get the amount of 21s that I need to get my plates. So that's going to be one of my plates. So the next one I'm going to start doing that whole process again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, and 20, 21. Now I'll just create my file here. And again, I apologize for the video quality. I lost the remote for the camera, so I can't really pause you like I would like to. I'm still playing with the tripod, trying to be able to figure out how you guys can see what I'm doing. I had another camera, but I haven't really been able to find it since we moved into the apartment. It might still be in my car. I don't know. It's like a little. It's called an Asco Brave. It's like a little cheapy version of a GoPro because I'm poor. I'm a po bitch. I can't afford a GoPro right now. That being said, so this completes the second one. Now I'm gonna get the rest of them done and I will bring you back. Alright, so we're back and I've got 6 sets of 21 and now I'm going to show you what I do. Let me kind of get some of these fuzzies off my machine and turn it on. Okay, so what I tend to do is I'll take the top 2 and I will put them right sides together. You can pin or you can choose not to. I didn't on the other one, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to pin my end. And you're going to want to get as close to where you need to be for your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then I'll remove the pin once I've got it braced underneath there. And just making sure I've got my sides matched up. And actually I want it to be done a little bit right there. And I'm just going to stitch along that side. Bring that off. This is just a me thing. I tend to nip my little threads off as I'm going. And then I'm going to take the next one. I'm not even going to finger press them right now. I'm just going to keep going. And as you see, it's pretty simple just to keep them together. Lined up as quick, best as you can. Like I said, I am not by any means a perfect quilter. My seams are never perfect, but I know my hands are going to be in your way while I'm doing this. Eventually I will get a better setup, but right now you're going to have to deal with my hand being in the way. I tried to get you as close in as I could while I was doing this. Long threads off the edge. Got a little long thread there on that end, so trim that off. Flip it open. Add my next one, right sides together, obviously. That's my thread there. There we go. Get this in there as close to your 1/4 inch as you can. Making sure you get your edges of your fabric lined up, and then away you go. And so basically you're just going to continue till you get all 21, and I will come back and I will show you how you finish it off. Okay, so I finished sewing all those little pieces together and I have something that looks like this. So I'm going to take this side here and this side, put them right sides together just like we did all along, making sure my seams are lined up. And then I'm just going to stick them under my presser foot. Making sure I have it at that 1/4 inch mark. Just going to make sure I got my ends lined up together. And then I'm just going to sew that 1/4 inch. Just like that. Trim off those edges. Alright, I'm going to take the sewing machine, turn it off, and scoot it back. And then I will bring you back to, I'm going to try this at the pressing station to try to see if I can get a good angle. So I'll be back. Alright, so I'm going to go grab that, but I got you somewhat angled back to my pressing station. So how I do this is I kind of just lay it down, upside down, right, the right side facing the actual ironing board. And then I will just kind of press the back first. Then I will flip it over so the right sides are up, and I will just press that side. And this one, it looks like I may have to do a different template because this one has a smaller circle than the other one did. But that's okay. We will get there when we get there, and yeah. But this is how I do that. But then I'm going to bring over one of my background fabrics and some pins. Hopefully you can hear me because I'm walking way over here into the corner. Grab this, and I'm going to grab 4 of my straight pins. Alright, and move this out of the way. And I'm just going to press this because I've got a little ear floppy, which you really can't see, but see, I've got a little ear floppy right there, so I got to press this. See if I can get you where you can kind of sort of see what I'm doing, ish. Okay, so I'm just going to press my background square so it's flat again. There we go. So now I want to get a center mark. So I'm just going to fold it in half, like so. And I'm going to press that center, press it right there to create a nice little crease for me. And then I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to fold it the other direction. And it's not like a perfectly straight square, even though I got it from Joann's as a bundle, but it's not completely straight, so I'm just doing the best I can with it. I just eyeballed the other ones, I didn't even do this step. But, there. And then I'm going to take this, and we're going to place it in the center-ish. Looks good, and then I'm going to kind of hold my Dresden plate and my background fabric together, and I'm just going to pin the Dresden plate to it just to temporarily hold it while and I did this with the dark ones as well. It's just probably not a necessary step, but I'm not ready to attach it just yet, so I'm just kind of pinning it on here at the moment. Just to kind of hold it on here for me. And last end. So now I'll bring it back up a little bit. And try to get this in it where you can actually see what I just did. Whoops, I gotta hold it. And maybe, let me see if I can bring it out a little bit. And it's a little better. You can still see it. But yeah, that is that pinned to our background fabric. And then I'm going to stop right now, and we will come back with the next step. Go ahead and do, I have 6 sets to do, so I have 5 more after this one. So go ahead and sew however many sets you're putting together. Go ahead and get them all sewn together, pressed, and pinned to your background fabric. And then we will go to the next step of creating our template for the center. Alright, we'll see you then. Okay, I have finished piecing that together. Sorry it's a little dark in here. Got dark outside, so I don't have too much daylight coming in here, and I've got 2 lamps for light right now, so I apologize ahead of time if it's dark. Okay, that being said, I've got all 6 of my light Dresden plates sewn together, pressed, and pinned down to the background fabric. So now I'm going to take I took this, yes, as you can tell it came from a Bud Light box, but this was the bigger circle that went with, that I had made for the center of this square. As you can tell, that's a lot bigger than the center of this one. So I had to cut it down so it would fit into the center of the smaller square. I decided I'm going to use this pretty orange fabric for my center. So I will bring you back and I'm going to show you how I'm going to cut it so that I get 6. I can get 6 out of 1 back quarter with a little left over for my scrap pile that I'm working on. So bear with me and I will bring you back. Alright, hopefully you'll be able to see this pretty well because I zoomed you in, but I'm still trying to find the right angles for the camera with my tripod to film. So you will see my hands. This is the ruler I've got. It is from Fiskars. That came with the cutting mat. It is 6 inches by 24 inches. And I've got my handy dandy Pioneer Woman rotary cutter here. So I've got this. I'm going to cut myself a straight edge and try to scoop the sewing machine out of the way. Maybe. If it wants to cooperate with me, which it does not seem to want to do at the moment. Alright. So I'm going to line it up on the 1. I might be doing this wrong and I apologize to any quilting police that don't like the way I'm doing this, but again, self-taught, still learning. And I'm going to cut my straight edge. Close up my blade. Take that off. And that one is going in the garbage. So now that I've got my straight edge, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my cardboard template and I'm just going to lay it on there, giving me a little space on either side so that I can cut. I probably use the 6 on this one because it looks like it's about a good mark right there. So, it might help if I actually open the stupid blade, right? Okay, again, learning curve. That piece. And out of each one of these that I cut, I'm going to get 2. Because if you, I'm going to show you an example. If I take this and I fold it over, actually I can just cut 1 more because apparently cutting it that way, I can actually get 4. Just fold it over and I can get 4 out of that 1 piece. So now I'm going to take that and lay it there. And I'm going to figure out where a good marking is for that one. I'm going to say the 11 on my cutting mat is going to be a good reference line for me. And woo, cut it, close it, move it. Take the template, move it over, and there you go. And see, 1 back quarter, fold it in half, and I still have some for my scraps, which are going in this basket at the moment. Okay, so that's how I do that. And then basically all I am going to do with these is see if it's noticeable wrong side versus the right side. Yes it is. So I'm going to flip it over and put it sides together if I can, because I'm not very good at lining up these edges at all. Just going to use my finger to kind of create a guide right there and fold it over again. Again, don't know this part. I'm just refolding it how this one's folded, but I'm just folding it the other way. Now I've got to figure out where to put this so you can see what I'm doing. And with that being said, I'm just going to trace this onto both fabrics and cut out the circle, and I will bring you back. Alright, well, I got everything pinned together. I got the center put in. It just is going to depend on you, what you want to do when you go to put your center on. I've heard, hang on, I'm having an issue here. It's way too close. So let me get that a little better adjusted. There. That's a little better. And let's see. Anyway, you can use, I've heard people saying use heat bond, you can use basting spray, a little bit of school glue, but I personally used, just because I don't have any of that, I used some adhesive spray that adheres to fabrics, metals, basically any kind of a craft material, it'll adhere to it. I use it when I'm mounting my latch hook wall hangings onto 12 by 12 canvas. I use it to adhere to that. So I just used that, sprayed the center, put it on there, hit it with my iron just to heat it up and get it firm on there, and I even put some pins around it. You might have a fancier sewing machine than I do that has applique stitches. Mine doesn't, so I'm just going to use a small zigzag stitch and go. You're going to start on the, grab one of these real quick because my battery's about to die, so I'm trying to make this quick. But you're going to just go over the points on the outside first, and then once you get it all the way around, you're going to do your, my hand, get my finger in here, you're going to do, there we go, you're going to sew around your center with the same stitch, and your block will be done. So I hope you enjoyed going through the process of the Dresden Plate Quilt block with me. To complement that in the quilt, I'm going to be doing some pinwheel blocks to complement them, and then I'm going to put some sashing on there and probably a border. Haven't gotten that far yet, but if you want to see me make the pinwheel blocks, give me a like, a thumbs up, comment below if you want to see me make the pinwheel blocks, if you want to go through that journey with me again. If you're an experienced quilter and you just watched me to watch a novice make a butchery mockery of the Dresden quilt, that's great too. Just still give me a like and a thumbs up. And in the description I'm going to put the link for my GoFundMe to help me